CGC Sports Illustrated, this is Jim. Big unboxing video today. So a lot of my unboxing videos lately have been very small. 1, 2, maybe 3 slabs. Today, we're looking at 15 slabs in 2 separate boxes. Most of these are gonna be modern issues. In fact, I don't think there's like a vintage issue like before 1975 in the entire lot. So these were all sent in at that modern tier level. And we're gonna take a look at them. So I am going to do my best to not see any of these. I know I need to get them with the backs up front because I do this the same way every time. So I know what these issues are. I did not go onto the CGC website to see what the grades are. So we're all seeing this together live for the first time. So I flipped them around so I don't know what they are. And I'm gonna look like this. This is kind of a new setup for me. So here is issue number 1. Look at that. Okay, this is pretty interesting. So this is Michael Jordan's first issue. This is a 4.5, trying to get that reflection off there. You know, terrible grade, obviously. But it's Michael Jordan's first cover. These are impossible to find in a newsstand issue. I own one already at 9.6. I get as many of these graded as I possibly can. I knew this issue had a lot of problems. I'm looking at the back. On the back, I don't know if you can see this, but there's an entire bend that breaks color up and down the entire back of the magazine. There are staple pulls, tears at the staple. You know, the corners are rough. There are spine ticks that break color. You know, this issue's got a lot of problems. Normally a 4.5 would be a total disaster. 4.5 is exactly what I projected this would come in at. So really happy with this. Always happy. I mean, this is one, in my opinion, one of the top 3 most collectible Sports Illustrated issues in existence. Michael Jordan's first cover. It's beautiful. From November 28th, 1983, him and Sam Perkins on there in their North Carolina uniforms. So off to a good start here on Michael Jordan and our first issue. Oh shoot, I've got this new setup here and I don't want to do any reveals. But I think I just did one, although I didn't really see what the grade was. Okay, so 9.2 for Shaq. Okay, so this is great. This is Shaq's first pro cover. He did have a cover when he was at LSU a few years before that. But this is his first pro cover. Really nice looking issue. It's from November of 1992. He's got his Orlando Magic uniform on there. There is a 9.8 out there. There's a couple 9.6s and a 9.4. I'd never owned this one before. So this was kind of a big priority for me to have Shaq and his first pro cover. 9.2, not too bad. Tough issue to find. Not terribly old, 1992, but really tough issue to find in good shape. So 9.2, thrilled with that one. Okay, not looking at these. Got to get my angles right so I don't make that mistake I did where I kind of gave a reveal in advance. Next one up. 9.6. Okay. You know, I've sent off a couple of swimsuit issues. I've got a number of modern ones. I've got a number of vintage ones. This is Romain Stamos. This is from 1999. This is her first ever Sports Illustrated appearance. I think there's several of these graded, but I think the highest copy is 8.5. 9.6 is a little disappointing. I'm not sure where they got me and got the downgrade. Man, that thing's pretty clean. But again, you know, keep in mind, guys, I talk about this all the time. There's an entire population of people out there that only collect swimsuit issues. Hasn't really been my thing, but I'm getting some of them graded because I think it's fun. And so a 9.6, this is a pop 1 of 1 with none higher. I'm pretty happy with that one, which is rare for me for a 9.6 to be happy. Something to keep in mind, these are all newsstand issues. I don't collect subscription issues, and I'll talk about subscription issues except to say that I don't collect them. So these are all newsstand issues, and we got a lot to go through here too. This is gonna be a ton of fun. Next one up. There we are. LeBron James, 9.8. So this is the Promise cover. This is LeBron James. This is when he was going back to Cleveland after he made the announcement. It's August 2016. I can tell you that this 9.8 LeBron James is a pop 1 of 1 with none higher. You know, we all know Michael Jordan's been on more Sports Illustrated covers than anybody else. It's not even close. He's had 50 covers. Muhammad Ali, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James are like at the next tier. They've been on the cover 23, 24, 25, 26 times, somewhere in there. So I've got a lot of LeBron issues that CGC being graded right now. I'm thrilled with this 9.8. I think this is kind of a key issue. This is really the issue that came out when he made his decision that he was going to go back and play for the Cleveland Cavaliers after being at Miami. So kind of a key moment in his career, especially if you're a big Cleveland sports fan. So thrilled with this. 9.8, LeBron James, 2016. Woo, that is fantastic. All right, so this is the last slab in this box. They sent these in 2 boxes because there's 15 of them. Clean up my mess here. So we'll take a little break here and while I'm opening up the next box. All right. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's terrible. I love this cover. I told you I've been big on the LeBron James stuff lately. So this is from, 2010, July 2010. So this is, with the Miami Heat, this is LeBron and Dwayne Wade and Bosh all on the cover, going for their championships in Miami. I really, really like this cover a lot. Oddly enough, this is a pop 1 of 1, none higher. 8.5, in my opinion, for a magazine that's only from 2010. Not that great of a grade, but it is a pop 1 of 1, none higher. Geez, I sent this to CGC to be pressed, and it doesn't even look like they pressed it at all. I've got some waves sitting there right at the top. This is hugely disappointing. Hugely disappointing, because I love that cover. I love Bosh and Wade and LeBron all on that same cover. Their Miami Heat uniforms, and 8.5. That's a disaster. So after the first 5, pretty happy. Got one 9.8, got a Shaq first pro cover, got another Michael Jordan first cover, even though it was only a 4.5. I'll take that in any grade I can get it. And we're off and running here. Pretty good. All right. Next batch, and I need to make sure that I go. I'm just taking a peek to see what's the front and what's the back. So I know what I'm doing here. Okay. Should be 10 more. I think this is a total of 15 slabs in this unboxing. Okay. Up next. Oh, 9.2. Yeah, okay. So this is Kobe Playoff Dream. Yeah, this is Playoff Dream. So that's him and Kevin Garnett. This is from 2008. Kobe and Kevin Garnett. I always love a couple of big All-Stars and Hall of Famers on the same cover. Really gotten into a lot of Kobe issues lately, collecting a lot of Kobe Bryant issues. In fact, there's a lot in this batch here. But this is a good issue. Not a lot of them graded. There is a 9.6. There are a couple others after that. So this is a pop 1 of 1, none higher. Kobe Bryant and Kevin Garnett from 2008. This is the Playoff Dreams Sports Illustrated. And a 9.2. Not great, not terrible, acceptable, but good. Didn't have that one before, so that'll be fun. Okay, next up. 7.0. That's an absolute, let's talk about this for a minute. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, so friend of mine was a big Cleveland sports fan, looking for some graded issues. I had just happened to send some off. If you guys saw one of my earlier YouTube videos, and actually I think I posted a lot about it on social media, I had sent a box of issues to CGC to be graded, and the box of raw issues that I sent got damaged in shipping. It looked like they had been dropped right on the corner from a high distance. I usually do a pretty good job in boxing my raw issues up for sending them to CGC, but in this case, it wasn't good enough. CGC was great during the whole process. Their customer service team reached out to me. They gave me pictures of the box before it was opened, pictures of the issues after they were open. They're like, what do you want us to do with these? And I said, go ahead and grade them. But obviously, this one really took it on the chin as far as the grade goes because it was damaged in shipping. Fingers crossed that the rest of the box doesn't show kind of the disaster that this is. This is a fun issue. If you're a big Cleveland Indians fan, there's a lot of people out there that collect this one. It is kind of fun. 7.0. Not a great grade. Not much I can do about that one just because it just, I had that box that was damaged in shipping. They were already at CGC. I was like, yeah, just go ahead and do it. I'm getting a little nervous here. That Kobe 9.2 and then that Indians 7.0. Gonna be tough if this trend continues and all of these got damaged in shipping. Yep, and I think that's exactly what happened. Here's an 8.0. Okay, so interesting story about this one. That's Phil Jackson on the cover. That's Kobe Bryant and Shaq down there. This is from November 1999. This is Kobe's second cover. Not a great second cover. I've talked about this before. Generally, you want to collect that first cover of a superstar athlete. After that, you kind of go to their second and third covers, and then maybe there's some other key issues down the road. Not a great cover of Kobe, just because you can't prominently see him, but it is his second cover. So this is Kobe Bryant's second cover. It's from November 1st, 1999. You got Phil Jackson and Shaq on the cover as well. And more of my damaged shipments. This only coming in at an 8.0. And again, another disappointment. Shoot, I think I gave you guys a peek of that one. Darn it. Well, I won't hold you in suspense any longer. Okay, much better, much better. Still not a 9.8, but a 9.6. So this is the last Alpha Dog. This is Kobe Bryant. This is from 2013. There's a couple of these graded out there, but none like this. This is a pop 1 of 1, none higher, at a 9.6. Like I said, again, from 2013, Kobe's bringing on a ton of Sports Illustrated covers. I'm really just trying to beef up my Kobe collection, get as many of them I can. And this is a really good one. I like this one. He looks really clean. You can see him on there. I love that, the last Alpha Dog. I love that. And a 9.6. Usually kind of frustrated by 9.6s, but based on this batch here, kind of happy to have a 9.6. This is a nice one. Nice looking Kobe right there. Okay, next up. There's another 9.6 Kobe. This is the Survivors cover. So that's Kobe from 2000. That's June 12th, 2000. So a really early Kobe one. This may be his third or fourth cover. This is Survivors. There is a 9.8 out there. I can tell you that this 9.6, pretty good. It's a pop 1 of 1 with only one higher. So decent cover here, and another Kobe issue. All right, come on. Need a 9.8 out of this box to kind of make me feel better from the damaged ones there for a little bit. Probably another Kobe. There's a lot of Kobes in this batch. Oh, okay. Okay, interesting. Okay. This is more Cleveland. And like I said, a friend of mine was interested in some Cleveland graded Sports Illustrated. So this is Art Modell. And this is, when he was thinking about moving the Browns out of Cleveland. This is from December 1995. Art Modell was the owner of the Cleveland Browns at the time. Big controversy in the middle of the night. He packed up, moved them to Baltimore, and they became the Baltimore Ravens. Pretty much the city of Cleveland hated Art Modell for that. But fortunately, Cleveland got an expansion team several years later, and they came back. Interesting story about this, and I'll tell this story a few more times in the future as issues come back. But this is the first one of this batch. So I came across what I can only describe is the most pristine kept Sports Illustrated collection I have ever seen in my entire life. And I look at a ton of Sports Illustrated collections. These were perfect. It must have been where this guy, every time he got the magazine in his hands, it went straight into a bag and board, and they were never touched, ever. Now, number of caveats here. The vast majority of issues were modern issues, late 90s through today. There was a couple of older ones in there, but the vast majority were modern. The vast majority, 95+% of them, were also subscription issues. But he did have about 15 or 20 newsstand issues, and I bought them. None of them were super collectible, but I've talked about this as it comes to collecting before. I don't care what issue it is. If you get a 9.8, that issue's collectible. 9.8s are so rare. They're so tough to get. I mean, we've seen in this batch. I got one 9.8, and I think this is my fourth or fifth 9.6. So 9.8s are so hard to get. They're so rare. Any issue in a 9.8 is collectible. So I bought these 15 or 20 newsstand issues because I think they've all got a super solid shot at being a 9.8, and I'll get the vast majority of them graded. Downside is, like I said, most of his issues were subscription issues, and most of them weren't really key issues that are collectible. But they were in amazing shape. I mean, incredible incredible shape. And this is one of those issues that this guy had where I bought the newsstand portion of his collection off of him. So Art Modell from 1995 at a 9.6. Again, taking a caveat with all of this because this box was damaged on shipping, getting there, and I guess I'll take a 9.6. Normally I'd be pretty frustrated by a 9.6, but that issue's pretty old too, from mid-90s. Next up. Oh! Yeah, this is another damaged one. So again, had somebody that was interested in a bunch of Cleveland issues, and unfortunately I was getting a bunch of Cleveland issues graded. This is Bernie Kosar. So this is from August 29th, 1988. This is a pop 1 of 1, none higher. You can see the 9.4 grade up there. Mid-80s issue, late 80s issue. So, kind of the early, what I would consider modern. I think anything in the mid-80s or older is kind of vintage. Interesting issue. This is not Bernie Kosar's first cover, but I think this is his best cover. I think he's been on 3 covers. He shared one with Dan Marino. I think he had another one. This is my favorite one because it's got him in the Browns uniform. It's an action shot. He was such a huge superstar for Cleveland back there in the 80s and early 90s. 9.4, not bad. Decent here on my Cleveland Browns issue there in my damaged box of Sports Illustrated. Okay, I got, looks like 3 left, including this one. Next up. There we go. Let's go. All right. Another Kobe one. This is Kobe's Moment. This is a newer one. This is kind of a mid-level one. This is from 2009. This is Kobe Bryant. I can tell you there's a number of these issues that have been graded. There's a couple 9.6s, there's a couple 9.4s, there's a 9.2, there are others under that, but thrilled that this one didn't get damaged in shipping. This is a pop 1 of 1, none higher. Kobe Bryant sitting here at a 9.8. I love this shot. He's kind of squatting on the floor in his purple Lakers uniform with that big smile on his face. Really thrilled with that 9.8 from Kobe Bryant, and kind of a little surprised that I got a 9.8 out of this box. All right, 2 left. Let's finish on a strong note. Need a strong note to finish here. That is not a strong note. This is the What's Next issue from Kobe Bryant. This is 2010, so right after the last one we saw. I can tell you this is a pop 1 of 2 with none higher. There's several of these graded out there, but Kobe Bryant stuff is just hot right now, and it makes sense. We're all saddened by the loss. It's been a year and a half now since Kobe passed away, but he went too young, and he was in his prime. As far as a human goes, he had retired from the NBA, obviously, but he just had so much more to give. And so, Kobe Bryant's collectibles are just really, really popular right now, and it's understandable why. A little disappointed with this. Glad it's a pop 1 of 2, none higher. Still a highest, copy of the highest graded copy in the world, but a 9.0, acceptable. All right, last one. Here's what we got to do. We got to go out on a high note here. Need this to go out on a high note. Oh, okay. So this is the last one. This is obviously my last Kobe one. This is such a great issue. So talked about this before. 99% of what I've got are Sports Illustrated. Do have a couple of Newsweeks, Times, some other magazines where there's some big superstar athletes on it. This was the Kobe Bryant tribute issue. So this is from February 10th, 2020. Just seemed like I had to have a copy of this. I mean, it's such a somber image of him kind of standing under that spotlight there, and you can see the number 24. This is an extremely popular issue. Like I said, it's only a year and a half old, came out in 2020. There are a ton of 9.8s and 9.6s and 9.4s out there, so this isn't going to challenge for any of those, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Just a great looking issue, and just a great issue that helped commemorate Kobe Bryant here. So not going to be disappointed with that 9.4. Guys, that's it for this unboxing video. Do me a favor, couple things, some housekeeping. Follow me on social media. Just go to any social media platform and search CGC Sports Illustrated. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, eBay, Facebook groups. Go under Facebook groups and search CGC Sports Illustrated. We got a great Facebook group out there. Like, comment, and subscribe here on YouTube. I'm going to be doing these unboxing videos fairly regularly coming forward. In fact, I think I've got another one that should be here in about a week to 10 days. And then I've kind of staggered my submissions to CGC, and they should start coming in more regularly here, even though some issues that I'm sending out to CGC right now won't be back to me for, almost a year and a half. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll do it again real soon. Please, again, like, comment, and subscribe here on YouTube, and thanks a ton, guys. Appreciate it.